Hi, Mom. Happy birthday. We're putting together a video just for your 90th birthday, and it's a really hot video. This is it.
Happy birthday, Mom.
Hi, Grandmom. Happy birthday.
Happy 90th birthday.
Mom, happy birthday.
Hi, Mom. Happy birthday.
Happy 90th.
Happy birthday, Grandmom.
Happy 90th birthday.
Happy birthday from Jer.
Happy birthday, Grandmom.
So, if this is your 90th birthday, that must mean you were born in 1928. That was 90 years ago. 90 years ago on November 22nd? Second. And we're here to celebrate you in video. So we got all dressed up and all doctored up so we look good on video for your birthday. And
When I reflect back on my life, and particularly your impact on my life, there's so many things that come to mind. But the most important impact you and Dad have had on my life is fundamentally adopting me into your family 62 plus years ago. I think of how different my life may well have been had you not done that. I could have ended up in a home where God was not honored consistently, and I could have turned out to be a very different person. So I thank you and Dad for raising me in a godly home. You made sure I went to Sunday school every week from a young boy, and that had a tremendous impact on my life, particularly my love for God's Word that endures to this day.
God's grace flows from your heart and impacts all you surround. Your love is never ending, never fading, and never failing. The love that you have for our God and Savior is inspiring. It is so abundantly clear that you are a daughter of our Lord.
Hi, Mom. Happy 90th birthday. We all are so blessed to have you in our lives. You touch each one of us in our own special way, and it shows us just how much you love us and care about us.
Hello and happy birthday from Jer. I wanted to share a few memories. As everybody knows, I spent most of my formative years at 30 Donna Lane, and I have a lot of great memories there. First of all, I want to say that the house was always meticulous. You always had great ability to keep the house clean, and also special ironing skills that you used to iron during all my children and put perfect creases in the pants. I always appreciated that. Great organ player, and most of all, a great laugh, whether it be laughing at the Hansies or at Big Plops or at a Monty Python. I always loved your laugh. You also were somebody who could wear a two-piece bathing suit and look good in it at not a young age, and that's not something I could do, so that's a great attribute. You love dogs and animals except for snakes, and those are all things that I admire as well. But most of all, what I want to say is that I'm very thankful for how welcoming you were to me, how I was included in everything, family vacations, whether it be a Saturday lunch or a beach trip or going out on the boat. I always felt welcome and I always felt loved, and I'm really thankful for that, and I'm very thankful for you and all you've done for me over the years.
Hi, Jean. It's your baby sister. How I would laugh when you called me that, long after it was actually accurate. I have so many fond memories of you, except, of course, when you ruined my childhood by moving me into the small bedroom. But I forgave you for that and for marrying that guy next door. It probably helped that he took me on the Wild Mouse at Seaside, and you braved the Ferris wheel with me. There are so many happy shore memories with all our families.
So a memory I have is when I was living at my parents'. I could always tell when my mom was talking with you because she would just be laughing and laughing. And then I think it was Laura's wedding. I remember you and Mom and Aunt Dot just sitting downstairs in our family room and just laughing over all these old stories.
I don't know how old I was, but young enough to not know better, and I was terrorizing you as usual. I think you had some of your friends over who you played tennis with, and I was making them very self-conscious about their age. I would go up to each one of them and say, "You have wrinkles, you must be a grandma." So, sorry about that.
Grandma, I just want to share an early memory I have with you. It was when my parents had dropped me off so you could babysit me when I was a little kid. And I remember we were sitting in your family room and I spotted a training club leaned up against the wall. And I remember seeing Grandpa practicing his swings with it, and so I went over to it, picked it up, and dropped it on your head. So it was an accident, I swear, but I think you were seeing stars for a little while there, and I felt really bad about doing it to you, so I am very sorry that I clubbed you over the head with a training club, but there was no lasting damage, so that's all that matters.
As far as we know.
When I think about you, Mom, and all the zillions of memories that I have of our times together, there's a couple that come to my mind. And Mom, the first one is your intense fear of snakes. Mom, I always think of you as just screaming and pulling your legs up to your chest and hiding your face in your knees when a snake appears on the TV or in a magazine or in a book. Whatever it is, you start screaming. Remember the time when the neighborhood kids found a snake and they were headed over to our house to show you? Somehow you got wind of this and you started screaming. I had no idea what was going on. It sounded like, someone was being murdered or something. You started screaming. You ran up to the upstairs bathroom. You shut the door, you locked it, you jumped on top of the toilet seat and just proceeded to scream. You looked out the window and you watched the kids coming and you just started screaming. I can't imagine what the people in the neighborhood were thinking. Unfortunately, you passed the fear on to me. Ugh.
When we came back from a craft show, there was a snake by the front door on Donna Lane. And you were very scared of that snake, so I ended up getting Dad's gloves, his heavy gloves, and removing the snake. And I think you were on top of the car, you were so scared. But anyhow, I removed the snake and I dropped it off across the way. There was an empty lot there and I dropped it off.
Of course, you remember this episode. We often, I think, chuckle about it. This has got to be 40 or more, easily 40 or more years ago when I was living at home in high school, I believe, and Dad had that big blue Oldsmobile, and you and I think, had gone to Garden State Farms and brought back milk, and somehow or other ended up spilling it in his car. And we tried to cover it up as best we could, but to no avail, because the smell of spilled milk soon became apparent, and so we dreaded Dad's reaction to it. And of course, he was upset and angry, but his love for you and for me transcended his anger over his car. And he did after blowing off some steam, he did calm down. And but again, we often get a chuckle out of it because you and I have an affinity in terms of our personality types, both being non-confrontational types by nature, and in contrast to Dad, who always was spoiling for a fight. And but he loved his family, loved you, of course, more than anyone, and he loved Nancy and myself, and that carried the day for us, fortunately.
But the thing I really remember is your tender care towards Stephen and Benjamin and Scott and I. And when we were waiting to see what Stephen was going to be, a girl or boy, we went to Valley Hospital, you and I was having the amniocentesis test. And that was funny because I had to drink about a gallon of water. And then you chimed in because I knew I couldn't hold it much longer. You chimed in to the nurse. Mrs. Vandervliet is very full. So she took me right away, and we did the test and found out Stephen was going to be a boy. So that was exciting. And then another time when you wanted to speed the pregnancy along, you took me for a walk at the Valley Duck Pond, the Ridgewood Duck Pond, and we went on the path, and we walked and we walked and we walked until I thought I was going to give birth to Stephen right there on the path. But that was just, you know, your way of saying that you wanted things to speed along a little bit.
I thank you for your care for me, for Sue, and for our boys. I'll never forget the episode when Ben was only a few days old. Sue had gone back in the hospital for internal bleeding after his birth, and I was home alone with Ben. And that particular night, screaming Ben. And I was beside myself at my wit's end, didn't know what to do. Of course, I thought of you. Mom's capable, she'll know what to do. So in the wee hours of the morning, probably 1 or 2 a.m., picked up the phone and called you. And without any hesitation, you came right over. And sure enough, you were able to calm Ben down quite readily and enabled me to get a decent night's sleep. So I thank you for the caring, compassionate person you've been all your life. Particularly your love for our children, Steve and Ben, and their love for you in return is near and dear to my heart as well.
I am so honored to call you my grandma and thankful for the foundation of all that is good that you have created for our family.
Happy birthday, Grandma! That is the first thing that I wanted to say is I don't know how many granddaughters, or granddaughter-in-laws I should say, there are out there that have been made to feel so comfortable and so loved that in return they can call you Grandmom. So thank you.
You've always been a very important person in my life and someone who's just very loving, very caring, and very supportive. So I've been blessed to have you as my grandmother all these years, and we've developed a really close relationship. So I love you a lot.
I'd say some of the qualities that I appreciate most in you are, I guess, being caring and authentic. I think you're a very honest person, which is not a quality that you really come by as much anymore. So yeah, I love you a lot, Grandma, and I'm really happy to be your grandson.
You're definitely the most fashionable grandmom I have ever met. That's something I definitely hope that I am like when I am older. Your shoe choices are impeccable, and you always come with a more stylish outfit that I have never seen before. So I love you. I just feel so honored that I get to be a part of your family, and just so blessed to get to know you and have you in my life.
Of course, I have to mention our trip to Africa. How special.
My other thought is our trip to Tanzania. And there's people I know, and some probably half your age, that wouldn't have been as adventurous and gone on a trip like that. And then I wouldn't have all these amazing memories that I have.
I really liked when we would travel together. My favorite was especially the Grand Canyon trips when we went with Mom after I graduated. And I thought that was just so special. We went to several different canyons and saw just amazing places that God created, and I thought just the time that we got to spend together where we weren't on our cell phones because there was hardly any cell phone service. We were traveling a lot from canyon to canyon, and the three of us just really got to bond, and I thought that was just incredible. And I thought that you even the idea of doing that was just so special. But I also really enjoyed the time that you and I flew down to South Carolina to watch Ben graduate, and we got to stay in that really neat bed and breakfast and just really spend time together. I thought those were my favorites when we just traveled and really bonded as we traveled and flew. And one of my favorite times was when we went to go take your wallet out to show your license at the airport security, and your change fell everywhere. And you were scrambling, you were freaking out, you were so embarrassed that you were holding up this line, and there's change just scattered all over the airport security line. And I was picking some up, you're screaming, and you were all flustered, and Aunt Sue and Uncle Scott are just walking right through like they didn't even know us. And I just thought that those times that we spent as we were traveling were just so incredible. There are definitely times that I'll never forget, and even though we tend to forget all the different memories and picture perfect moments that happened on those trips, the way we got to bond and the special times that we shared and the conversations we shared just will always be in my mind.
Our trip to the Grand Canyon and the Canyonlands with Brittany. That was so much fun. When I think about it, I think of your courage and your bravery. First of all, it was really hot. And we wanted to go down into the canyon, the Grand Canyon, and it was steep. And again, it was hot, and you didn't think you would be able to make it. You were sure you couldn't make it because your legs were bothering you. But Mom, I guess we talked you into it, but you still came. You went down partially, and you were rewarded with the experience. And that's awesome, Mom. You overcame your fear for the experience. Also on that trip, I remember the time we wanted to go down to Lake Powell. This was again a steep slope down and quite a long walk, but it was really hot and we just wanted to put our feet in the water, maybe get into the water and get cooled off. And again, Mom, you did it. You walked all the way down and you walked all the way up, and you really had no help at all. You did it on your own. And you could do it. You overcame your fear and your doubts, and again, you were rewarded with an experience. Way to go, Mom.
Hi, Jean. We just wanted to say how much we really enjoy our time with you, especially those times we get to drive you home from Tom and Nancy's and have you all to ourselves. Too bad there always seems to be something annoyingly wrong with the car that makes the trip a little bit more stressful. But that's one of the great things about you. You never seem to let the chance of being stranded on the side of the road in 20-degree weather bother you. You just go with the flow, and you have that special peace.
Every Christmas, you knew how to bring such joy to us kids when we searched the tree for the hidden pickle. Was it who was the most observant to see it hidden amongst the branches? Who could identify its texture among all the branches? Or who had the best sense of smell? You created many traditions that we will always remember.
When I think about you, I think about your love for tradition and the way that that's influenced our family and the way you've created a number of traditions that have been meaningful to me and to our family. So when I think way back to whenever we would visit your house in the summer, you'd have those frozen Milky Ways in the freezer, and that was something really special. I remember going to your house, thinking about those, looking forward to that, and having them each time. The consistency of that really created a special, unique experience. I think of the holidays, whether it was July 4th or Thanksgiving or Christmas in the early days, all being at your house, all establishing that tradition that became a really special thing of going to your house on Christmas Eve and the Christmas Eve service. And that just the consistency and the way that you created something that became special and became a thing of memories. Also around Christmas, the way you did that with the pickle and finding the pickle. Though I have to admit, I don't think I ever won that, and I was thinking back on that, and I finally realized why. Maybe it's because I was colorblind, but anyway, that was something special, and we just did that for the first time with our girls this year. So I appreciate the way you've valued and created traditions for our family. It was also true around Easter, and I remember how every Easter you would come up to me and say, "He is risen," and expect me to emphatically say, "He is risen indeed." And if that didn't happen in the church service, I would try to make a point of doing it for you because I know you'd be very upset. And similarly, on the drives to church on Easter, we would start to just sing the Easter hymns in case they didn't cover the old ones that you liked. So that deep value for tradition has been super meaningful to me, and I appreciate you creating those for our family.
The spoon game. I believe those words with the memories of that game will always haunt you. Sitting at the kitchen table with my friend Melanie and Granddad. But nevertheless, I will always try to encourage you to play.
And Grandma, one of my favorite things to do with you is play games because you are super competitive, which I love. And actually the one game though that I know I will never beat you at is Hugger Mugger because my vocabulary dictionary is nowhere near as good as yours. I think you can destroy us all at Hugger Mugger, which is probably why we almost never play it anymore. But I love your competitive spirit when we play games.
It always brought such joy to me every time that I could sing to you or sing with you. You have always been so encouraging, telling me what a beautiful voice I had. Your words always made me smile. For these same reasons, I was always inspired to strum a few songs on the guitar or dust the cobwebs off of the flute. I love how we share a similar passion for music.
Another area is the way you carry yourself and created a culture of excellence for our family. I think of a funny story of when, I don't remember exactly why, but I know it was you and Granddad, and I'm pretty sure Andy, my friend, was with us, and you drove me up to college, and we were at Yorkside Pizza, and you ordered an iced tea, and I don't remember what was wrong with it, but you were not happy with it, and you were definitely going to tell the waitress that, and Andy and I were so embarrassed, but that, is a small way in which you've always carried a high standard for excellence, whether it be your iced tea, the way you dress, the way you carry yourself. In fact, I made it a clear point to shave before doing this video because I knew if I didn't, that would be, I would hear about it, that, that you would say something like, "Oh, are you planning on growing a beard?" even if it was only one day without shaving. So, but that, I see how that has filtered down through with my parents and myself, this high value and standard of excellence, and calling people to that. And so I really appreciate that.
One of the first things that I told my parents about you is that one day I wanted to be like you. And you just had this fiery and bold personality, and that's something that I want Kenzie, Sammy, Alima to carry. You're not afraid to speak the truth or what you believe and but coupled with that, you have like the best listening ears. I feel like I could talk to you and you would never tire of listening, and that just makes me feel super loved, so thank you. You're also really open-minded and carry such a high respect for others. I've just seen it so many times in conversations with myself and other people, that even if you have a different opinion, you still listen and with such a high respect for the other person and so much love for the other person that you listen all the way through and even consider their thoughts when it's something maybe outside of the box or just different than what you were thinking. And I don't see that in many people at all.
We watched as the hot air balloons rose high up into the air, going in several different directions. We spent time observing the different shapes and characters that took the people far away from where we were sitting, in the lawn chairs in front of the barn. Polly, of course, was there too, but she was too distracted by the luscious green grass. I'll never forget your amazement at her size, but gentleness which she portrayed. You fed her carrots and apples, and she licked your hand. For that, Polly will always love you.
I need to tell you that you've been an important part of my life since 1984 when I married your daughter. Yeah, since 1984. So that's been 34 years, Mom. 34 years where we've been mother-in-law and son-in-law. That's pretty amazing. So what I did for your birthday video, Mom, and this is pretty big, I took your name and made it an acrostic. Is that the right word? I don't know if that's the right word. So for Jay, the word I came up with was just the way you are. I almost fell. We love you just the way you are. We love you just the way you are. J for just. We meaning the family. Your son, your daughter, and your grandchildren, and everybody else. We love you just the way you are. J. A was a tough, E. What? E. E is for every, as in every day. We would be happy to see you every day. So you can never overstay a welcome because we just like to be around you. You're just kind of fun to be around. And you pick on us a little bit, but that's what makes us love you even more. E for every day. A, this was a tough one. A for, let's get Father Christmas. A for anointed. So we feel that God has anointed you to speak into our lives. So that's kind of why we kind of want you around every day so we can hear what God put on your heart for us. Yeah. And N, Gene. N is for no idea. Okay, that's just no idea, because back in 1984, I had no idea you would have such an impact on my life. And no idea, meaning that the grandchildren never had no idea that you'd be such an impact on their lives as well. So N for no idea.
From day one, you have always been one of my biggest encouragers. Whichever path life led me down, you were right beside me or behind me, softly pushing me in the direction you felt I wanted to go most, whether it be with music, volleyball, or horses. You have always been one of my loudest cheerleaders. The support that you have shared with me all throughout the years is undeniable. Your love, kindness, and generosity are tangible and have blessed me in immeasurable lengths.
And you're just so loving and kind, Mom. Thank you for being such a wonderful mother-in-law to me throughout the years, and a wonderful grandmother to Stephen and Ben. They couldn't have had better grandparents than you and Dad. And they just have we all have so many fond memories of going over to Donna Lane and even up at the Poconos, spending time with you and Dad, and just spending time, as a family, which meant so much to us, having you as a grandmother and a mother-in-law. And thank you so much for your love and your concern for us, each of us, and for being there all the time. You're always there. You're always faithful. And we just love you so much, Mom. Thank you so much for everything you've done for us.
Another thing that I really enjoy is how we talk a lot about how every night and day after day you not only pray for me and my requests and my future, but you're praying for every single member of our family, and that's just so incredible to know that you don't go a day without thinking about us and praying about us.
Jean, your deep love for Jesus shines brightly, and your faithfulness to our Savior is a guiding light for all of us. The Lord loves you with an everlasting love, and we pray He continues to lavish you like a midsummer downpour. You are beautiful and precious and dearly loved by all of us. So here's to many more years of fun with you. God bless.
And I think one of my favorite things is waking up in the summertime, at Christmas time, and coming on the stairs, and you're always there. You're the first person that just always greets me with a smile when I'm getting up and getting the girls dressed and ready. And you're just always there saying good morning as we come down the stairs.
I'm so glad we stayed close after Mom and Dad died. There's nothing like having a big sister in your life, especially one with so much love to give.
I feel so blessed that I got to spend time with you this year on your birthday. All the times that we have together are treasured in my heart.
So I thank God for you each and every day. I'm thankful I can call you and talk to you. And just thankful to be your son. It's been a real blessing for all of my life.
I want you to know that you are one of my very best friends. Thank you that I can talk to you, that I can go on and on about whatever it is, and you just listen. You never criticize, and you just listen and support me. And you don't judge. You are my number one cheerleader, Mom. You always have been, and you always will be. Without your encouragement, support, unconditional love, I don't know where I would be today. Thank you for all your love. Thank you for liking me. Thank you for supporting me and encouraging me. Happy 90th birthday, Mom. I love you. Oh, and by the way, Mom, I just want you to know that when you get to heaven, Dad's gonna give you a standing ovation. Because, Mom, you again have overcome your fear and you have been courageous in dealing with all the daily annoying problems that we have to deal with. But Dad used to always deal with them. You overcame cancer surgeries, hip surgeries, well, a broken hip, and countless things. And Mom, that is just so amazing. So Mom, thank you for the example that you are to all our girls out there and our guys, but especially to the girls. Mom, I love you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gigi. Happy birthday to Gigi. Table and a bell and the Gigi's birthday. Only make Gigi's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gigi. Done.
Aunt Jean, I love you.
Mom, I love you.
We love you.
Love you, Jean.
Love you a lot.
We love you.
Love you.
We love you so much.
I love you, Mom.
Love you, sister.
We love you, Grandmom. Thanks for being such a big part of our lives.